Well, good morning everyone. Thanks for tuning in to the channel. I am Brian and today I'm coming at you with another review slash potential giveaway for a fantastic little power station, guys. So no doubt you've probably heard of BLUETTI. They're a pretty big name in the game and they have come out with the BLUETTI EB3A, as you see here. And this is their smallest lithium iron phosphate battery in their lineup. This is coming in at 268 watt hours of juice inside this thing. These little power boxes are really useful for camping. A, because they're extremely light. This comes in at 10 pounds. It's easy to lug around if you're going tent camping out in the woods. You can actually carry this thing to where you need to get to go. And they're just very mobile. They're not like these big 1,000-watt units where they're 50 pounds and they're kind of hard to lug around. This guy, you can easily move around, and with the chemistry inside here being lithium iron phosphate, you're gonna get up to 2,000 cycles off of this thing up to 80%. What that means is you can charge and discharge this thing 2,000 times, which I believe is around 5.5 years, until you're gonna degrade these batteries just to 80%. So after 2,000 cycles, you still have 80% of these batteries left inside. So guys, that's, you know, if you take care of this thing, it's gonna last you for 10 years or more. These you truly do get your money's worth for. Now these are currently selling for around $299, but I know there was some big sales a couple of weeks ago and you could actually pick this thing up for, I think, around $209. I don't know if that's still going on. Anticipate the highest you'll ever see this is $299. Now there's probably sales on this thing all the time. So let's just jump into some of the features of this and then I'll bring you in closer and kind of go over it again with you so you can get a better idea of what this is and what you could potentially win for absolutely free. So right off the bat, one of the coolest things I think about this unit is the fact that it does not have a charging brick. Okay, everything's built in this battery unit. In the box that you're gonna get, hopefully, all you're gonna get to charge this thing is this cord. There's none of that big giant charging brick that you have to use. So all you do is plug in the end of this cord into this AC port and you plug this into the wall. That's all you have to carry around to charge this thing. Now I also got this solar charging cord, which has an 8mm barrel adapter to 2 MC4 connectors, and that's going to plug in to the input port, and this is to plug up your solar panels. Now per the manual though, it doesn't state that it comes with this, so I'm not sure why I got it, and I can't guarantee if you do win this if you're gonna get it or not, but mine came with the 8mm to MC4 charging cables. And another useful feature I think that might be overlooked by some is that the fact that there's no inputs on the sides or the back, the light, the input, everything is on the front of this unit, and it's got a folding handle, so you can build a little cabinet for it, kind of like I have in my truck, and it takes up very little space, and you don't have to access the sides of it to plug anything in. I like it when they put everything on the front because that makes it a lot easier to hook up to. So again, there's nothing on the sides or the back of this unit. And as far as the 12-volt cigarette style DC charging port, it is a regulated output at 13.3 volts. So you can run a fridge off of it. Keep in mind this thing's 268 watt hours. So the way I would use this is to plug in my fridge at home, keep it plugged in all the way to camp, and then hopefully have either shore power or, you know, potentially even a bigger generator to run that fridge over the weekend. But this will get you to where you need to be going because it does have a regulated 13.3 volt output on this thing. Let me bring you guys in a little bit closer and I'll go over some more of the ports and the output power of each. Okay, moving in a little bit closer, folks, you can see again, here's the 12-volt cigarette style charging port with the dust cover port that comes on it, which is nice. You've got your 255/21 outputs. So all of these are regulated at 10 amps total. So you can split 10 amps between the cigarette style and the 255/21s, but you cannot go over. You've got 2 USB-A ports. These are not quick charge ports at 3 amps apiece. And you've got a USB-C 100-watt output port. Unfortunately, it doesn't have an input. You cannot charge this thing via power delivery, but you can output at 100 watts. So you can run, you know, computers, laptops, things that require a higher watt output. You can use that 100-watt USB-C port right there. You got your 8mm input port. You've got your charging AC port where you're going to plug in your charging cord. And if you do trip this thing, you've got a circuit breaker switch right there that if you do trip it, let it sit for a second, come back and push it, and this thing will kick back on again. Let me cut this on. And you can see right now my input is at 0, my output's at 0, I'm at 60 hertz. I've got 78% battery remaining, and I've got 30 hours left right now, but that doesn't mean anything because I'm not running anything. But you do have an LED light, low, high, SOS mode. Let's cut that off. And then you've got your 2 AC outlets. Now this thing has a 600 watt inverter. So keep in mind though, if you do run 600 watts off of this unit, you're only gonna get around 30 minutes of runtime. But in the event that you need that little bit of extra power, this little machine will actually run up to 600 watts for a very short period of time, but it will run it. Okay, so that's basically it for the ports. Again, everything's on the front, and you can see from the side shots, there's nothing there. You got your fan intake and outtake, and there is nothing on the back. That's basically it for the front and all the ports. Okay, so now we got the ports kind of covered. Let's go over a few important details that I look for in some of these power stations. So number one, this does support pass-through charging, and I will plug this up and show you folks, but you can run items off of this and charge at the same time. And one of the really cool things about this is that it has an app. So it is Bluetooth and wireless connectivity enabled, and you can change all of your settings directly from the BLUETTI app on this, and it works great. So you just download the BLUETTI app, and you can change your charging speed, which we'll go into. You can change your settings. You can turn on and off the DC ports, the inverter. You can update and download firmware. When BLUETTI pushes out updates to this thing, you can download it immediately, and just to help this thing run a little bit better. So you can do a lot from the app. You can turn the light on. And while I'm here looking at the top, I think I forgot to mention, it does have a 15 watt wireless charging port up top. So if your device is wireless charging capable, you can just put your device on top and it will charge at up to 15 watts. So no need to bring around a charging cord for your phone or small device. Set that booger on top and you'll be charging. Okay, so you're gonna go into your BLUETTI app and the unit's on, and I'm just gonna hit connect. And it's gonna look for my BLUETTI EB3A, and I found it. Click on it, and it's gonna give you all kinds of information. So it's gonna show you the current battery percentage, which is at 78%. Up in the top left, I don't have any solar. I'm not pulling or using anything from the grid. My DC's off and my AC is off as well. So you can see here, we can turn on in the bottom left the DC toggle switch. So my DC portion of my battery unit is actually on now. I can cut on and off the actual power station hitting the power button, or if you go up here to the top right settings menu, this is where you'll find a lot of the neat stuff. So the eco mode is pretty important. If you have the eco mode turned on, this unit will cut itself off if it doesn't have enough power draw being used out of it. Now, that's important if you're trying to run a fridge, or I'm guessing a CPAP machine or something, that if sometimes that device goes down below 10 watts on the AC or 1 watt on the DC, this unit will cut itself off. So this unit actually does not cut itself off if it's not in eco mode. So if you need your devices to run without this machine cutting off, if that device goes way down below in wattage for a long period of time, turn off the eco mode. But this eco mode is to save the battery so it doesn't have any parasitic drain on it if it thinks that it doesn't need to be turned on. And then the main thing, the charging mode here in the blue, right now it's set to silent. And what silent is that it means there's gonna be no fans running when you charge. In this setting, you're only gonna charge at 100 watts. You can change it to standard setting, which during that setting, the fans are gonna run, it's gonna be a little bit louder, and standard setting will charge up to 260 watts. Now, if you're in a rush and you've gotta get this thing charged up as quickly as possible, you can actually charge this thing on a turbo setting, which as soon as you click that, it's gonna give you a warning and let you know, hey, this is gonna charge up to 350 watts to 430 watts, depending on the battery percentage that's inside this unit at the time of your charging it. But you'll get a warning saying, hey, this is gonna be a lot of juice getting put into here. You can degrade the batteries using this, only use in an emergency. Just know, if you have to get this thing topped off really, really quick, this turbo mode will actually do that at up to 430 watts. Okay, and as far as solar inputs, per the manual, you can use something like this 8mm barrel adapter to MC4 connectors to plug directly into solar panels. Max input from that solar panel per the manual is 200 watts. I've seen a lot of reviews from pretty reputable reviewers on this unit itself, and they were only able to get 160 watt. Per the manual, you can pull up to 200 watts or 8.5 amps. And this little guy also has UPS mode, or uninterrupted power supply mode. And what that means is you can use this charging cord, plug it into the actual unit, plug the other end into your home outlet, into your wall outlet, and then plug a device into one of your outlet ports here on the front of the unit. If you have power go out in your house, this unit will detect it and automatically kick on and run that device that you're have plugged into here. So a good example of that is if you have a small fish tank and you want that aerator to continue to run and provide oxygen to your fishies, the power goes down, this will detect it and automatically, instantaneously transfer the power to the batteries inside this unit and continue to run your fish tank equipment. And it will automatically detect electricity loss from your home and divert that power to the unit itself to that device at up to 600 watts. But again, you're only going to get around 30 minutes of that, given the fact that this is 268 watt hours. Okay, to demonstrate the pass-through charging capability, let's make sure this unit's turned on. I'm gonna turn on the inverter. I'm gonna plug in a little fan I have back here, and we're gonna run that. Okay, so the fan is pulling 10 watts. Now we got 22 watts pulling. I'm going to turn on the DC. Okay, phone's being charged, slowly going up. Now iPhones have a limit built into them, so I'm only going to get, this might go up to around 27, 28 watts. So fan's running, phone's charging. Now let me show you that you can actually plug in and charge this unit at the same time. So there's charging cord, and you will, so remember I'm in standard charging mode now. I'm gonna pull up the app and show you. Okay, so I'm in standard, I'm getting 263 watts. If I change to silent, it's gonna go down slowly. So now we're around 100, it's gonna get down to around 100 watts. Go back up to standard, and it's gonna ramp back up. Now I'm pulling 265 watts, and I'm outputting 22 watts, and you can tell by here, I am charging, I'm at 78% battery, so I'm still putting juice into this thing even though I am using it. Pass-through charging does work just fine. I want to make clear that right now I'm just in standard charging and I'm at 80% full, so I'm not getting the full amount of wattage being put in, but if you were to use the turbo mode charging, which can get up to 430 watts, you can charge this unit from 0 to 80% in less than 30 minutes. I wouldn't do it a lot because it does put a lot of stress on the batteries, but in a pinch, you've got to have this thing filled up. You can use the turbo mode. And you can also tell up here, hopefully, the app tells you that I am charging 263 watts from the grid into the power station. All right, gang, well, hopefully you enjoyed that little review over this BLUETTI EB3A. Again, I think it's just a perfect size for overnight camping trips, to charge your phone, charging batteries, running a few USB lights, maybe a little 12-volt fan, or in a pinch, you know, run a cooler from your home to your campsite and then plug in your cooler at the campsite to run it overnight. But just a perfect little power station, and guys, BLUETTI is high quality stuff. This is a really good giveaway and a good power station that you're gonna find useful. Now, BLUETTI has dictated the terms of the giveaway, so check the description below and see what this video has to do before BLUETTI is going to ship you one directly from them. It won't be coming from me. All I have to do is give them the address of the winner. No information, no email, nothing like that, so they're not gonna bug you. I have to give them the address if this video gets to where it has to be, and that's gonna be down in the description below. But guys, I really hope that you make this video get where it has to go, because you're gonna love this power station, because it's just extremely useful and it's just cool. I don't have a power station really that has an app like this that can do all the things that it can do. And I also like the fact that I can be sitting in my chair at camp and I can pull up the app and I can see how many watts I have left out of this thing while it's in my truck powering, you know, some lights and some fans. I can monitor it without having to crawl into my truck to see where I'm at. I think that's really useful and really cool. And 9 times out of 10, I always forget my charging cord. Now, this isn't the only power station that has wireless charging, but I like that it has it because it just adds to the goodness of this thing. And I like the fact that I can set my phone on top and it's gonna charge it when I'm laying down at night. I don't have to go fiddle with a cord. It just adds to the overall value of this power station, I think. Guys, overall, just a really cool power station. I'm gonna be using this out on a trip coming up next, and you'll see me using it, and I'll probably mention it again, but it's just a good power station. You're gonna be really happy with it. I hope you guys can help the video out, share it, like it, subscribe, and I will be looking more than forward to letting BLUETTI know who to ship this thing to. So guys, until next time, take care, and we will see you soon. Thanks.